If you're one of those men that is out there that is actually considering starting a men's group or being part of a men's group, there's a few skills that I want you to have to really be successful, because I made these mistakes early on, and now I know what it really takes to run a successful men's group. There's a big difference between feeling ready and actually being ready. There's a big difference between knowing or thinking that you want to lead and then actually executing. Trust me, I've been there. I've opened men's groups many years ago that were a total bomb. Just didn't work out. I've made all the mistakes. I've run many different men's groups over the years. And today I'm here to tell you the few things to watch out for to not bomb the way that I did in my early days of running men's groups. And there's a lot of predictable outcomes that will happen for any man when he wants to start to lead, or he wants to lead other men, run retreats or men's groups. There's a lot of pieces that go into it, and I'm here today to tell you what pieces are really important to watch out for. So the first mistake that I see a lot of guys make is trying to lead a men's group without actually doing their own work first. The idea of leading is really exciting, and it can be really exciting and very fulfilling to lead a group of men. But if you yourself are still facing a lot of shadows, if you haven't dealt with your father wound, if you haven't learned how to wield your own anger, if you haven't learned how to let in support, check your ego, these are all things that are going to hold you back from actually being a leader, because you can only take other men as far as you've been taken yourself. And so when it comes to holding space for other guys, when it comes time to really owning your own shit, if you haven't done that, you're going to collapse in the leadership role in front of other guys. Or you're going to look to like avoid it, and it's going to be a really ugly thing that guys aren't actually going to trust you. So you have to have done your own work first. Mistake number 2 that I see guys making is they're trying to lead without clear feedback, right? So it's like leading from the top, but not really having a proven ground for how you lead. And this is really important for guys to start to understand that we need feedback as leaders. And if you're just trying to lead from the top without being open to feedback, without really gaining feedback before you start to lead, you're going to have a ton of blind spots that, well, they're blind spots. You're not even going to know that they're there. What it's going to do, it's just going to reinforce your same patterns that are playing out in your life, but then it's going to come from this top, and you're going to try to be dominating and controlling. And again, the guys aren't really going to trust you, or worse, they're going to trust you, but you're going to be taking them in the wrong direction. And that ends in disaster for everyone. And the third mistake that I see a lot of guys make in this field is thinking that men's work is one thing when truly it's many things. Men's work in many different containers gets put into one of 2 categories, one being the dominant, strong man that's encouraged to always challenge and push through and really doesn't understand the nervous system or make space for different capacities or different levels of tolerance within someone's nervous system. So the other side of men's work is when guys start to become ultra soft, they just kind of become a puddle of feelings, and everything's allowed, everything's enabled, and it's just, it's a super safe space, but that safe space doesn't have space for challenge and for moving forward and calling guys forward on their bullshit. And so, in my opinion, really good men's work has both. It has the challenge, it has the fire, and it has the support, it has the love. Good men's work is a happy medium of both, and knowing when to call a guy forward and when to support a guy. And really, as a men's work facilitator, you have to know what's appropriate when. Because if you challenge guys too much, guys are just going to shut down and their nervous system's not even going to be able to take in the information. Likewise, if there's just too much support without any challenge, guys don't actually grow and move forward. And it takes real training and real experience to understand when to apply what. Because there's a few ingredients that are missing in a lot of leaders these days. The number one that I see is conscious listening, right? Some guys want to lead to give advice or to coach or to be perceived as some kind of savior or some kind of hero or be looked up to. And the reality is, most men and most humans, they just don't need more advice. If they needed more advice, they'd be going to AI or, listening to their wives or some of these other people that they have in their life. But really, oftentimes what they need is a good conscious listener. And listening is actually a skill. It's something that we can develop. It's not just something that we do, it's really a skill that we hone. And listening without fixing is one of the most important skills as a facilitator, a coach, a therapist. It's really listening for truth in what the man is sharing and giving space for that man to share too. So good men's work really facilitates this space for listening and being heard. And if you're one of those men that is out there that is actually considering starting a men's group or being part of a men's group, we have Good Man Friends, which has over 100 members worldwide. We run 2 men's groups every week. I'm part of a addictions men's group. We run men's retreats. So we've got lots of experience in this now, and we've started to tease out the pieces that don't work well and the pieces that really do work well. So now I want to give you the pieces that are working. So a successful men's leader, whether it's a men's group leader, men's retreat leader, a facilitator of any kind, one, he's done his own work. He has done his therapy, he's done his shadow work, he's looked at his wounding, he knows himself really well. And 2, he has received feedback. There's been other guys that have told him what worked really well in his facilitation, what didn't work really well. He's been exposed to leading a group and open to projection, right? Oftentimes leaders receive a lot of projection and they have to know how to handle that, not to bark back and get defensive, but also not totally shut down and just take it, right? So how do we develop the nervous system awareness to really be the projection and consciously engage with it without shutting down or attacking back? And this is what really good leadership has. Now, how do we develop that? Well, it's only through experience. So let me talk to you about that for a little bit here. Because in our programs, we teach you about what it's like to become a men's work leader, but more importantly, we give you the experience. So we have a 6-month men's work leadership program, and in that, you're co-facilitating other men's groups, right? In Good Man Friends and in the container itself, every week you're participating in groups and you're having the opportunity to lead parts of that group. So you actually have the experience of leading that. You're getting feedback from the guys. How was your experience? And then you're working with the leader of that men's group. It's an already existing men's group. You're coming in and kind of being a lieutenant to the captain of that group. And then after the group, you're going to have dialogue. You're going to talk about what worked, what didn't work. What did you notice in the other men that you were facilitating? What did you notice in yourself when we went into some of these practices? So experience really matters here. Because if you're trying to start a men's group without much experience yourself in a men's group or in a leadership position, you're going to be exposed to a whole lot and it's going to come at you very quickly. So we want you to be prepared and have exposure and support as you receive that exposure. The other thing that you're really going to get in something like our 6-month men's work facilitator program is access to leaders. So access to myself. We're coaching every week. Also getting access to a number of other men's group leaders, men that I respect. They're guest teachers that come in the program. You get to work with them. And then other leaders in Good Man Friends, which is our not-for-profit organization with over 100 members. And you work with some of the leaders in that each week to practice and hone your skills. So you're working with mentorship. That mentorship continues on even after the 6 months. So there's lots of exposure, lots of real experience in the leadership position for your men's group that you're going to start one day, or for your men's retreats that you're going to lead, or for your community as a whole, and you being a man who is a leader and recognized as that. This program is really intelligently created in 3 different phases. The first phase is really all about you. We're gonna do some excavating, some shadow work. We talk about your mother wound, your father wound, how you were raised, your own shadows, and your own unconscious. And we're really diving into doing your work. In the second phase, we dive more into working with other men, right? So other guys that are already in the container, other guys that are already in some of our men's groups that we give you exposure to. And you're kind of working within this controlled container where you have an opportunity to work with and learn with a very low risk, low stakes. And then in the third phase, you're starting to move into supporting your community. So you're actually reaching out to other guys, you're creating your own men's groups, you're bringing people into your world. Now that you feel this confidence and you have the skills, you really are in a place where you're equipped to start to work with the public. So going through those 6 months, you're going through this really intense learning curve where you might come in with 0 experience of men's work, and you end up leaving as a fully qualified practitioner and an opportunity to continue to support in our groups, whether that's Good Man Friends and our online men's groups, or come facilitate our retreats, or you can run your own thing, right? But there's lots of opportunity for you to really fully step into that leadership role. And this 6 months will totally transform you as a man and as a leader. One of my favorite things about this whole thing is that you're in this container with the same group of guys for 6 months. And what does that mean? Well, yes, you're gonna have the embodied experience in all of this, but more importantly, you're gonna have a group of guys that you're graduating with, that you'll be friends with for likely the rest of your life. And you guys get to continue to support each other. You can collab on projects. And it's really just an opportunity to grow your network and grow your community with a group of guys that are all interested in the same thing, all interested in growth and supporting each other and moving forward in their life in a good way. So if you're interested in leading men's work in some capacity, whether it's your own men's groups, your retreats, helping us in our men's groups or our retreats, this is a 6-month opportunity for you to really step in and radically change the way that you're living your life and the way that you're supporting other men and your community and your family. So I'll put a link in the description below, and you can jump on a quick call with me. We can discuss, or you can go ahead and book in. If you're ready to go and you think this is for me, you can go ahead and sign up today. We start July 1st. I'll see you there. Be sure to subscribe for more content. I'm going to continue to teach about men's work and all of the work that we do here at Good Man Friends and Men's Adventure Retreats. My name is Brady Mack, and let me know. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how this lands for you. Put something in the comments, like, subscribe, do all those things, and I hope to see you inside the leadership container.